Good morning, Comanche Nation. We're live here at our Comanche Nation Housing Authority conference room. This is our special monthly meeting. I asked Mr. Tipicani, following our Constitution, if he could call this special meeting 10 days from our regularly scheduled June meeting. So the time right now, everybody, is 10:22. We had a discussion before we started this. And by our Constitution, the only time we can do anything legally is through the legal quorum of the CBC. That's how our Constitution's been written for the last 52 years. So I would like to call this to order, this special meeting. And Mr. Tipicani, if you could, sir, if you could do a roll call.
Lenora Parker, Vice Chair.
Here.
Robert Tipicani, Secretary Treasurer, here. June Silvo, Committeeman number 1.
Yes.
Miss Zoya Bai, Committeeman number 2.
Here.
Ron Redout, Committeeman number 3.
Here.
Clyde Narcomi, Committee number 4.
Here.
William Nelson, Chairman.
I am here, sir.
We have a quorum. Everyone present.
Thank you, sir. You know, everybody, we go to funerals of our people, and a lot of people have been concerned about our funeral home. We've been one safe nation, Comanche Nation. It bodes well for Comanche County. It is unsettling when we ever hear of death in this coronavirus. There was an actual uptick of cases in Comanche County and throughout Oklahoma in general. And that uptick has happened to Texas and Arkansas, all surrounding Oklahoma. I think this opening should have been held back, but at the same time, we got to get business done, Comanche Nation. And today, what we got to do is some land matters that deal with our actual gaming compact and where we're going to be. Also, the future. 15 years from now, children that are 3 years old today, Donna Gale, they're going to be 18 years old. We want to make sure that they have a fantastic 18 years of net worth to start their young lives, just like the ones that are turning 18 years old today. If we think about it, this revenue from gaming started in 2005. So realistically, we're looking at 30 years, 35 years of gaming. So, we're on our second 15 years. And one good thing, Mr. June Sobo, do we have a compact with the state? And is it going to the Federal Register?
You better believe we got one.
There we go. Bottom line, it's a done deal. A lot of people were in the background to get this done. All we did is we stayed tenacious. And as Mr. Redout tells everybody that talks to him, it's a no-brainer. As Mr. Tipicani, who watches your money like an eagle, he's seen that the value that we did to get this will triple our people's finances. Right now, we've got 17,600 Comanche Nation members. We'll probably be close to 25,000, maybe 22,000 in the next 15 years. The best our nation's ever done is between 60 million or 70 million net revenue from gaming. We're projecting that 200 million to 250 million will be the cause and effect in 15 more years. That will bode well with population and what we do for our people. I don't ever want us to ever see the elderly payment or the per capita payment go away. A lot of people didn't even want it when it started, but it is the Comanche Nation people's money. It is. It will always be the Comanche Nation people's monies. So today, what we're going to do, we're going to go over the land matters at hand. And the land matters, I want to make sure our Comanche Nation public understands. We've been trying to earmark some land right across the Red River Bridge down there in Tillman County. And it's called Davidson, Oklahoma. That was supposed to be the major portal highway for NAFTA back in the day. Mexico to Canada. Numerous truckers go through there. It's a small parcel of land, and we want to put what they call a gasino there. Not a casino, but a gasino. And we also want to bring back commerce to Davidson. It's a sad fact that Davidson They have to ship all their students, be it kindergarten to 12th grade, they have to ship them all the way to Frederick, a 33-mile trek north and a 33-mile trek south. Us being a great neighbor, which Comanches always have been, this will bode well for that community. As soon as you cross the Red River, it says Kiowa Comanche Apache Reservation. The land is beautiful. So that is one. Number two, Grady County. The two-part determination that we have on our compact, we have earmarked how many acres, Mr. Lee? 49?
Yes.
49 acres. Where is that? That is right at the exit. Either you're going to Blanchard or you're going straight into Chickasha. 49 acres. Right turn off I-44.
57.39, sir.
Okay, 57.39. All right. I think I'm looking at the possibility of the big truck stop venue I was talking about. All right. Then we got Love County. 2 parcels of land. Describe that one for us, would you, Mr. Lee?
Sir, there are 2 parcels of land, exit 1 and exit 5. The exit 1 property is 10 acres, and the exit 5 property is 15 acres. And they both have highway access, obviously. And the traffic count has gone up and almost doubled in the past 10 years since you have Windstar World there. But those are the 2 parcels that we have options to, and the 2 parcels that we're going to discuss in a resolution to pass to acquire.
Do you happen to have the aerials of those, the topographical?
Yes.
Could you show that on the screen for our
Yes,
Comanche people?
Exit 1 and exit 5, and then just scroll. Just scroll up, it'll be several pages.
I'm feeling really brave not wearing my mask, but I gotta put it back on. We can't be brave anymore. Be safe. Go ahead, Stephen, explain what this is.
What he's scrolling past is an option agreement, and here's one map. It's probably not that clear, but what you can see is the
Could you
green line.
expand it?
Can they see this? Will they be? Are they looking at this?
We
Okay.
have handouts too.
Okay.
Okay, so they can see it on the screen? Full screen?
They can see that, Chairman, right behind you.
Okay, all right.
That's not a very good picture, but the green area shows the 10 acres that we are acquiring, and that's right off of exit 1, right over the Red River Bridge on I-35. And then you can go to exit 5. But just want to give them a general idea of where it's at. What we're scrolling past, of course, is the resolution that we're going to discuss today and the land options that we have. There have been negotiations that have occurred, and we're going to discuss taking over the actual purchase agreement today.
Okay, did you show both properties?
Yeah, he's almost at the second one.
Okay.
There's nothing really to see. It's a vacant tract of land, 15 acres, but it's right off of highway access. That's the most important thing. There's highway access.
Well, do know one thing, our membership watching, they need to know. This will be their lands.
And there's, in the red, is the 15 acres, and that's off of exit 5. It is, you have exit 1, the very first exit, whenever you pass the Red River Bridge on I-35, and then you have exit 5 is the next, the following exit, and it is approximately 5 acres north, or excuse me, 5 miles north of exit 1.
Okay, so to give a picture of it, the world's largest casino is right at exit 1, and we will have this option done today of the 10 acres. And then you go 5 miles north of the Red River, as soon as you cross the Red River, and you'll have right turn, 25 acres. What is the objective? To get us to the point of 200 to 250 million net revenue for our people. That's what you do when you do a good negotiation. And can you please show Grady County?
Chickasha property. Yeah.
You know, everybody knows where Chickasha is, and where you have to get off just north of Chickasha is called East Choctaw Avenue. You have the option of either going right or left. We got right turn on I-44, and honestly, a very beautiful a piece of property. There's Bradford pear trees coming off the I-44 there, really nice. I guess they lifted all restrictions on the softball super fields. I went by there Sunday. I don't know how many cars were there. There had to be at least, I don't know, 5,000 people over there. But they were having a massive softball tournament over there.
There it is, Chairman, right behind you.
There it is, okay. If everybody had noticed, if north, if you take a left there, you're going back to Chickasha. If you take a right there, you're on your way to Blanchard, Oklahoma. So it really is a great thoroughfare right there. I can already see a free play and a free pike pass for the year. No, something like that. All right, Mr. Lee, let's go right down to the business of this. Mr. Tipicani, knowing the facts I presented, sir, knowing what we've tried to get done, we got to understand, we went to go to mandatory fee to trust, knowing that the government will be a part of two-part, and Brett, tell the public what the two-part of our compact really means.
So there's actually really two, I guess, avenues for taking these properties into trust. One is using the settlement money and trying to accomplish this mandatory fee to trust. And the other is the compacts have what's called a Section 20 concurrence in them, which means that the nation can acquire these lands, and then it requires two concurrences, the governor of the state and the Secretary of the Interior. The compacts already accomplished the second part, the governor's concurrence, which in many cases is the harder part, because the Secretary of the Interior, it's kind of self-evident usually that the land will benefit the tribe. So what the compacts do is they accomplish essentially half of the two-part determination under IGRA. And this other strategy that we've been speaking about is using the settlement funds to accomplish a mandatory fee to trust. I know you all were upset when we said that that method isn't as guaranteed as you all would maybe hope, but I think one potentially strong strategy would be to pursue both avenues at the same time and increase the likelihood that it would be taken into trust.
I gave an analogy of another tribe. I'm not going to say the tribe's name, but they were able to get 30 acres. And this was farmland owned by a Caucasian man, and got a pretty good deal for his 30 acres. Well, in 2 months, they already had it in trust. Then in 6 months, they were already building a casino. And then in 18 months, they had a full-fledged casino. Now, I want the Comanche people to understand, is that fair? Is that good business? If all tribes cannot do that, I call that bad business. I call that favoritism. I call that with no impartiality at all. And there's one thing that your business committee has done. We have stayed the course to read through the hypocrisy of it all. And we have made business decisions. Comanche people, you need to get on this horse that we're riding. I cannot believe some of our members are taking this to a negative point. For what reason? I'll never know. That's ridiculous. We took an oath to serve our people, and today is the biggest part of that oath. If people don't see the business assuredness in this, I don't know what to tell you. Mr. Tipicani, before we move to the vote on this, questions?
Well, you know, as I hear you, you know, there should be a priority here. And to me, the priority is, I think two circumstances. That's Davidson, but Chickasha is probably the highest priority, but Davidson should be close to it. And the others, I think, are down the road.
Okay. Can I answer that part for you? We have a deadline of June 30th for what's in Love County and Grady County. Cleveland County is just, it's too costly, and
Too expensive.
yeah. But Mr. Tipicani, I want you to be rest assured, I don't want to give money back that we set down to make sure we can get this land. I think this is our time to get it done. We've prayed almost everything through. Matter of fact, I've been remiss in us not going to prayer. And on these lands, I surely am going to ask for prayer before we go to a vote on it, for sure. Stephen, detail. June 30th is our date to get these lands, or what happens?
We have an option to extend for 30 more days, but it'll be at a cost. It'll be $5,000. That, on one property, the Chickasha property, it will not go towards the purchase price though. So it would really just be a convenience fee for us to either continue to make our decision, but we won't get that $5,000 back.
I'll go right back to you, Secretary Treasurer, and I have to. That's his duty. He takes care of our monies. Nothing gets done unless the Secretary Treasurer, by us moving him, to do so. Knowing that $5,000 more would be added to this purchase. What's your thoughts on that, sir?
Well, we've made the commitment. I don't see that as being a predicament, because it's a property that's going to give a great return.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The thing is, I do think CBC needs to know the total price. And one thing we've done too is we've gone through a different party to acquire the lands, and those parties, I'm sure, are due something monetary.
Well, we have one real estate broker that's been dealing with this. He's done a great job. Now I got to talk to Brett Staven. Knowingly, good business is always done by good lawyering. So, knowing that fact, those lands being given right to the Comanche Nation underneath the guise of that realty director right there, what wording is needed today?
In the resolution?
No, sir. We have one of your actual employees that got this lands. We, as the, in business, you can't sit there, everybody that says sees Comanche Nation, they want superior price, right? Well, we've been very smart business people about this. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
I think I understand
Stephen,
what
can you sidebar that young man outside and tell him what exactly is going on?
Chairman,
There,
Yes, sir.
can we take a step back and Dinosutak? Yes.
Yeah, I tell you, we're on a very difficult point. I've been up since 6 a.m. recovering from a long day funeral. You are correct. I'm here to chair this meeting since you have brought this up. Mr. Red Elk, very important stuff we got to do for our nation. Could you lead us in prayer?
Sure. CBC, I did give you a copy of
Lord's
the
Prayer.
prayer, and you can follow along. Sumeko, ana nama apka, ika, tai nama nomneti na atuetu mak, anani niaks. Nami sutai na me niwan. Nami nana sutai ko wino namunak wetu tsuamai narutuakat. Nami nomneti na Saaku suot makamia he wino up God. Nama hansuwain na up nama night. Saaku nana nada udait wino ukse nama ningwain. Ke nakwituai, ke ai nasukat, ke dasa, ke maku nani panai. Saaku nak namai. Eka namite tua suwait na. Suota miatsi saaku. Oka namu nak wetut nami saapunkan mian he ana up God. Otsatsa namaniwai nani namania nami sutai na se Bernhard. Amen.
Thank you, sir. Okay. So it comes right to, I'm ready to go to a vote on this. I'll read it verbatim. Do I have this, Cecily? These resolutions? Did you ever get them printed? Okay.
Yes, you have them in front of you, sir.
All righty.
I can give it to you.
We have got resolution number 82-2020. This is before us. On the price, do we have our price on here?
The price is $975, which we put 30,000 down, and so our price would be $945. That's if we decide to move forward with it. This resolution in front of you
That's what we're doing today, sir.
is only to accept the assignment, but it can be to.
No, sir, we're
What?
going to the purchase today.
Okay, great.
All right. Before us, we have resolution number 82-2020. The Comanche Business Committee is the duly elected official body designated to conduct business for and on behalf of the Comanche Nation in our legal quorum today. Whereas Acorn Point LLC is an independent limited liability company that has entered a purchase and sales agreement attached hereto and marked as Exhibit A to purchase land and desires to assign all right, title, and all interest in said sales agreement to the nation for $1 and other good and valuable consideration, the receipt of which is acknowledged, and whereas that land is referred to as Chickasha. The land is located at Highway 81, U.S. State Highway 62, which is right off the I-44 corridor. And the land has a contractual description of unplotted 57.39 acres, more or less, in section 26, 7N, 7W, Grady County, Oklahoma, and is more fully described in Exhibit A. And whereas the CBC has made aware of this parcel of land, and whereas the CBC has determined that it is in the best interest of the nation to purchase the assignment from Acorn Point LLC for $1. Another good and valuable consideration attached hereto and marked as Exhibit B. And whereas the CBC has determined that it is still in our best interest of the nation to approve and authorize the assignment referred to herein to purchase the real estate at fair market value, to expand the nation's land base for future. And now therefore be it resolved that the Comanche Business Committee determines that it is the best interest of the nation to purchase the assignment and hereby approves and authorizes the Comanche Nation Chairman, William Nelson Sr., or his designee, to purchase the real estate at fair market value. Be it further resolved that the Comanche Business Committee does hereby authorize and approve the chairman, or in his absence, the vice chair, or designee, to execute in all documents as may be necessary and appropriate to implement the terms, conditions, and intent of the resolution. Business Committee, a monumental day.
Have a question?
Sure.
Up in the three whereas,
Yes.
we have, this is the second sentence, I believe, a purchase of land and desires to assign all rights, title, and interest. What I'd like to know is, I think it's appropriate to put in these resolutions that it's surface and subsurface. Is it mineral?
Uh,
Do we
it's
get
just-
everything?
No
it's
minerals.
just,
So we should state surface only.
Mr. Tipicani, could you put a, a motion forward that we make a fourth whereas that will state exactly land without minerals?
Yes, I make a motion that in that, that's third whereas,
Well, actually, could you make it four because it's kind of, it mixes two different points.
okay, we can add, whereas, the purchase will include surface only.
There you go, sir. The purchase will include surface only with the semicolon and. That is the motion. I do need a second.
I'll second it.
Seconded by CVC number 2. All those in favor for amending this part of this resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Business Committee, I come to you again for resolution number 82-2020 with this amended part. I do need a motion to take this forward.
I make a motion to move forward.
Thank you, Lady Vice Chair. I do need a second.
So move.
Seconded by CBC number 1, June Sobo. All those in favor for resolution number 82-2020, please signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you, everybody. Mr. Stephen Lee, I want to thank you very, very much. Brett Staben, Rosette LLP, thank you very much. And what is that crazy real estate guy up there in Oklahoma City? What's his name, Stephen?
His name is Rick Lars.
Rick, if you're watching, thank you too. There we go. We now turn forward to resolution number 83-2020. And Mr. Tipiconi, it seems like it's going to be another one that you will have to go ahead and go to the amend. So let's go to that part.
And it's surface again only?
Yes,
Lee?
sir. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, so I make the motion to include that as the fourth whereas, and to include surface only, and.
Business Committee, we're doing an amend to resolution 83-2020. It'll be the fourth whereas, and on that fourth whereas, our Secretary Treasurer would like to amend the part that says the purchase will include surface only, semicolon, and. Could I please have someone take that to a second so we can approve that part?
I second it.
Seconded by Lady Vice Chair. All those in agreement to amend this part, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay? And I'll go right to the read. Resolution number 83-2020. Our Comanche Nation is a federally recognized Indian tribe with the Constitution approved by the Secretary of the Interior of the United States on January 9th, 1967. We're here to safeguard our tribal rights, our powers, and privileges to improve the economic, moral, educational, and health status of all members. And the Comanche Business Committee is a duly elected official body designated to conduct business for and on behalf of all the tribal members in our legal quorum today. Whereas Acorn Point LLC is an independent limited liability company that has entered a purchase and sales agreement attached hereto and marked as Exhibit A to purchase land and desires to assign all right, title, and interest in said agreement or in said sales agreement to the nation for $1 and other good and valuable consideration. And whereas the purchase will include surface only. And whereas the land is referred to as Exit 1. The land is located on U.S. Highway number 77, and the land has a contractual description of a 10-acre tract, which tract being a part of Southeast 1/4 and Section 2025 9 South 1 East, and is more fully described in Exhibit A, which really, if I could show on that topographical, which we pulled up, it's right off I-35, going right underneath the viaduct. Whereas the CBC has been made aware of this parcel of land, and whereas the CBC has determined that it is in the best interest of the nation to purchase the assignment from Acorn Point LLC for $1, and other good and valuable consideration attached hereto and marked as Exhibit B. Whereas the CBC has determined that it is in the best interest of the nation to approve and authorize the assignment referred to herein to purchase the real estate at fair market value, to expand the nation's land base for future use, and now therefore be it further resolved that the Comanche Business Committee determines that it is the best interest of the nation to purchase the assignment, and hereby approves and authorizes the Comanche Nation Chairman, William Nelson Sr., or his designee, to purchase the real estate at fair market value. Be it further resolved that the Comanche Business Committee does hereby authorize and approve the chairman, or in his absence, the vice chair or designee, to execute any and all documents as may be necessary and appropriate to implement the terms, conditions, and intent of this resolution. Business Committee, we have resolution number 83-2020 with the amended part to the fourth whereas. I do need someone to make a motion to approve.
So move.
Moved by CBC number 1, June Sobo. I do need a second.
I'll second that motion.
Seconded by CBC number 3, Ron Retto. All those in favor for resolution number 83-2020 with the amended part, please signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Thank you, CBC.
In these two resolutions now, we have two properties.
3. We got 84-2020 coming your way.
No, I mean, of the two that we've spoken, approved already, we have two.
Yes, sir.
And those are adjacent to each other.
No. The first one was Chickasha. The second one was right at exit 1. This next one I'm bringing forward
177.
is exit 5.
Oh,
This is pretty funny for you Comanche members watching. It's called Buckaloo Road, exit 5, Love County, America. Did that answer your question, sir?
Well, no, because 2020, you know, is 57.39 acres.
That's number 1,
Yes,
Chickasha. Yep.
that's Chickasha.
Yep.
And 20, let's see, the next 83
Yes.
is 10 acres on
Yes.
77,
Yes.
and it's in the same area.
No, that's in Love County, sir.
Oh, I catch it now. We should have said Love County in there. That's my confusion, yeah.
Well, your land description puts it there. Stephen?
Yeah, I think it's smart to put the counties in when we do it, but anyway,
Bottom line,
we've
sir,
approved it.
On the next one, I would hope, well, this one is very, very specific. It takes it right to Thackerville, Oklahoma. He even calls it Buckaloo Road.
Yeah,
you
it'd be
know.
smart to be clear in the county.
Okay. One thing for sure, the land description is exact.
Yes.
On this part, sir, Mr. Tipicani, it looks like we might need you to take a motion to amend for the fourth whereas, like we did on the first two.
Yeah, I make the motion, whereas includes surface only, you colon and.
That says a motion on this part for resolution number 84-2020. Could I please get a second?
Second.
Seconded by CBC number 2, June Sobo. All those in favor to amend this part to put the fourth whereas to designate the purchase will include surface only. And
I'll make another motion that in the fifth whereas that we state the county,
I'll second it.
because that's the way the governor granted it by county.
okay.
And I think each of, I apologize, I was remiss on the other two, we should have county. Because then it's compatible with the states giving us that authority.
I second it.
Okay. I'm going to reword it for the record for you, Christine. Okay. It's an amend to resolution number 84-2020, where the third whereas to read. That part would read, the purchase will include surface only, and semicolon, and the other part to this actual motion on this floor is a fifth whereas to say Love County, Oklahoma. With an N. Okay. We do have a motion made by the Secretary Treasurer, and for the record, it was seconded by CBC number 2, Donna Gail Sovo. All those in favor for these amended parts, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right, thank you. I'll go to the reading of resolution number 84-2020. Whereas the Comanche Nation is a federally recognized Indian tribe with the Constitution approved by the Secretary of the Interior for the United States on January 9th, 1967. We have our purpose, and we are to safeguard our tribal rights, our powers, our privileges to improve the economic, moral, educational, and health status of all members. Whereas the Comanche Business Committee is a duly elected official body designated to conduct business and for and on behalf of the Comanche Nation and legal quorum. And whereas Acorn Point LLC is an independent limited liability company that has entered a purchase and sales agreement attached hereto and marked as Exhibit A to purchase land and desires to assign all right, title, and interest in said sales agreement to the nation for $1 and other good and valuable consideration. And whereas the purchase will include surface only. And whereas that land is referred to as Exit 5. The land is located on Buckaloo Road, and the land has a contractual description of 14.98 acre tract located near Exit 5 on Thackerville, Oklahoma, legally described as part of the northeast quarter of Section 7(9)(S). Got a hand up over there. What's going on?
There's a typo.
Yes, there is a big typo.
It should be section 7(9) south, 2 east.
Yeah, you got it.
It says 2F. I wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of that and amend it to read section 7(9) south, 2 east, or 2E.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to come to this table knowing what we got going on, guys. I'm going to call for someone to rescind all parts to the amend that Mr. Tipicani just did so we can have this corrected. And I need this redone for a reread because I don't want any mistakes on this. So, could somebody please make a motion to rescind our amended motions until we have it all corrected for a read.
I so move.
And this part on this rescind is only to Resolution 84-2020. Need a second?
I'll second.
Okay, seconded by CBC 1. Motion made by CBC 2, seconded by CBC 1. All those in favor to strike and rescind the amended part until all is corrected so we can have a good read on Resolution 84-2020. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right, on that part, if I could have Realty get that corrected, we really would appreciate that part. It's just a part of doing business and getting it all correct. I need that rewrite done because we're going to go into one other thing. I need to go to the discussion of Davison, Oklahoma. So when we started all this, we had assigned Maybe you can have your staff member get that done over there, Stephen?
It's actually Mr.
Okay. Well, I need a full rewrite, okay? All right. The last part we did in Davison, Oklahoma, we've already gone to the resolution to approve. We've already gone to every part we were supposed to do, Robert. Now I did for the record, I went to the Bureau and I don't know how else to say this. The CBC, between Robert Tipicani, Mr. Red Oak, all of us here, Stephen, myself, we're having to educate them, which is sad. And Mr. Tipicani, I want you to tell our public the discussion you had with DC and us knowing what we can do and what did they say that we can't do. We got to clear that air.
Well, Mr. Lee, Realty Director, and myself approached parties in Washington, D.C., the Realty Director there of the Bureau of Indian Affairs, and we conveyed what we would like to see done, which was mandatory trust, using that claim money. And anyway, we explained that's what we wish to do. Well, when we got in discussions with them, we could find out very quickly their office is in two locations. The director sits in Washington, D.C., and the main staff group is in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So they had to get those parties on the line too. So we asked questions about this, and what was very apparent very quickly is that they could not answer yes or no to us. And not to underwrite or, say something that they're out of order or whatever. It's just that they have not been familiar with it. They have not done one. And so they said they would get back to us and that they would convey information to the Southern Plains region. Well, we awaited the Southern Plains and we never got any contact from Southern Plains. So after that, we were awaiting, information from them, and we're yet to receive that. I hate to say that. But on the other hand, Mr. Lee's done a lot of good research, and we've looked into this, and it's very apparent to me, and I think he can cite it later, that we can, yes, go into mandatory trust. And what I see in the effort that we want to undertake is that we need to be assertive. So you sent a letter and you delivered a letter to the superintendent. And I urged Mr. Lee that it be more direct in seeking their trust duty or action to get this underway. So I think, again, having read your letter, I've talked a little, Lee and I have talked a little, and he's explained a little more info that he's gathered that really, in my mind, allows us to affect this. So I say now, let's write another letter which is direct, which says, to bring it into mandatory trust based up on these reasons, and state those reasons and circumstances and conditions, because it's apparent that that fund allows us, and other documents that we have found assert and state that yes, we can, using those monies, go into mandatory trust. Now, the agency, I find anymore, without insulting, I don't mean to insult anyone, but the fact is, they're yet to be responsive. Because, and again, and it's not to belittle them, it's just that they do not know, literally, they do not know how to do this. And the same thing with DC. The thing that I've determined in all of this is that they're very dependent on the solicitors. Those are their attorneys and counsel.
Right.
So if something is presented, like I know if we come forward with this letter, they'll not be able to address it. What they'll do is give it to the solicitor. And the solicitor, I'd say in this letter too, that we must urge that it be acted upon immediately, if not with some time frame, because solicitors have a tendency to sit and sit and sit because they have to research 10,000 documents from all over the world.
Right, right.
And I'm being a little facetious, but that's
No,
the
you're
truth.
not. You're not being facetious.
They're never confident about anything. I've worked with those solicitors. They're never confident. They've got to have multiple situations or opinions or documentation to assert, yes, you can proceed. Well, again, I feel what Mr. Lee's uncovered and what we have, we need to write that letter as quick as we can, saying, perform your, trust duty and assist us in moving this property and others, all these lands here, into mandatory trust using that claim fund.
Your colleague, CBC number 2, has something to add. Go ahead, Donna Gill.
I have a question. Why couldn't we, as a business committee, put together a resolution stating what he's wanting to state in a letter and sign it and send it?
All 7 of us.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then that is more or less, this, we know this is the law.
Right.
You're having problems with and line it out, the steps and your resources, and just
Yeah.
lay it that way. When they read it, everything's there. They don't have to go research it. And just give it to, if we have to address it, to either the Bureau or up above them to the solicitor themselves, then do
Right.
that and see if we can expedite that.
I think
That
that's
lets them know
outstanding.
that
Outstanding.
in our official capacity, we know this is right, we know this is what we're doing, and as a nation, we're asking you to do your part and process it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Stephen, go ahead.
I
Bob.
support that. I feel, everyone's signing that letter,
Yeah,
but we need to be quick about it.
yeah.
Let's move on it. And the thing that I want to state too is I think we have enough evidence to state very clearly why it should go into mandatory trust so that they don't spend all this worrisome, a solicitor, attorney kind of thing.
Right, right.
Because I'm familiar with that, take you ages, and it's just like the letter we got, or the opinion we got, so to speak, from Rob. To me, I can see they did all this research, but to me, it's not contemporary in a sense. It's not relative to the moment and to the information that we have. So, yeah, I think you're making a good recommendation.
Stephen, can you put the Federal Register of that topic on here? I know you have it. And I want our Comanche people to understand what's on the Federal Register about this part. I mean, if, a solicitor's opinion.
Yeah, because it's already been passed to be done years and years
Right,
ago.
right.
And these guys may just be too young to know it, but it's still there.
Yes, yep. Do you have that part, sir?
I have it, but I don't have my screen projecting. I need to email it to
That's okay.
these gentlemen.
One thing for sure, that part has to be a part of it.
As
CBC.
well, yes.
As well.
Because it gives the states authorization to
Right.
proceed.
Right.
It really comes down to a whole big topic here. When I started this journey as an elected official, it started with Red River. And there's still implications of Red River. And I think this governor will understand that we really do have a Red River rivalry. Because honestly, non-Indians own a lot more land at that Red River corridor than we do. And we have proven, for the record, we have original allotment sitting in Texas right now. I don't know what other more to provide to people to do their jobs. We're getting it, and I hate to say it, I can't name his name. one of the big shots from DC was at the regional, Southern Plains Regional Office. I said, how can these things be going on? And Clyde, you know what his answer was? Become a self-governing tribe and it won't go on. That's not an answer. That is not an answer. So our frustration continues. I'm always reminded of a song, you know, BIA, we're not your Indian anymore, right? Well, there's a reason they sang that song in the 60s, June. We didn't get answers. They have a what type of duty to us, Robert Tipicani?
It's a duty. They have a we use the word trust responsibility, and I say it's a trust duty.
You are correct.
Because then it's an action. If you say responsibility, they can say just like the response you got.
Yes, sir.
But if it's a duty, they must act.
Okay.
So I think we as a sovereign need to act as well. We need to be more, we need to be stronger in our positions and stronger in our presentations,
Yes, sir.
like this letter. Be strong about it. You know, we're a sovereign, we're a nation, respect us. And this is what we conclude. These are the things to be done, and we see it clearly, do it.
Okay. Staff, I do need an insert for a resolution
We need
number.
to take that process and adopt it.
I
to
need
our
a new
own laws
resolution
for how we
number.
handle our land.
Yeah, we need to
And
get a
they'll have
realty
to follow
department.
Can you
seeing
tell me
the
what
long
that
run.
number
Then
would
they'll
be?
have to follow it.
Yeah.
So
Then we have our own
I would
codes,
like
yes.
for us to
Yeah.
do a legal quorum resolution on that will attach the Federal Register meaning of this part. And with the strong language that Robert has said, we're gonna have to go right to the minutes of it. We're doing a right, an actual right resolution today with the exact wordings. And Robert, if I could have you just do a 1, 2, 3. Donna Gill, if you could do a 4 and 5 of exact what you want on this resolution, sir.
Well, you know, the preface, I won't go into those, but I'd say right away we get to the point that the responsibility of the federal government, now I use the federal government, not just the Department of the Interior, of the federal government to the Comanche Nation is to perform duties that are in the interest of the Comanche Nation. And then I would further state then, the duty that we wish to be performed at this time is a mandatory trust, you know,
Yes.
purchase of land to be to go into a mandatory trust, and that this action be effected, and I'd like to say within the next 30 days, but I know they can't do it that way, but I'd say effected immediately,
That'd be number 3,
yes.
okay?
And so, furthermore, the supporting matters of this is that we have had concurrence through the approval of a new compact with the state of Oklahoma, which allows us to acquire 3 additional properties within the state outside our reservation boundaries. And upon these, with the evidence that we present furthermore here attached, we ask that these lands be immediately brought into mandatory trust.
Okay, I'll move number 3 down to number 6. Okay, let me tell everybody what I got here so far. 1, we explained the responsibility. 2, at present, we need to fulfill this mandatory fee to trust. Number 3, it needs to be concurrent with the compact of the 2-part determination. Then number 4, the specific properties attached. That's where I'm at right now, Mr. Tipicani.
Number 5 would be the attached
Okay.
legal information which supports our request to move it into mandatory trust
Okay,
using,
and that attached legal would be called what, Donna Gill?
Legal descriptions.
Should we go to the Federal Register part or to the land descriptions?
well, we need to go to the claims
Okay,
and the evidence within the claims which allows us to make this kind of purchase.
okay,
And since we've been given the okay by the state to acquire them, then I think we can describe those three.
Well, that would go in your support materials.
okay,
Yeah, that
Okay.
these then follow, are enabled to be moved into trust given the attached legal data or the legal statement.
okay.
It has to be attached, otherwise it's going to be a big part within the
Right, right.
document.
Right.
You hear what I say, Lee?
Yes, sir.
So it has to be attachment.
So honestly, our first letter was light, so let's go with the knockout.
Yeah, it was too weak. It was a weak letter.
Okay. Number 6, I would hope on number 6, and Rosette, follow my lead here, hopefully I'm right. The Federal Register is clear on what we do. It's clear.
Yeah, the process is already there, they just need to do it.
It's clear, very clear.
Well, there's one thing I want us to all be aware of. When they published the Federal Register, which went out last week, there's a 45-day period
Yes.
in which parties that feel indifference or even support can make comment.
Right, right,
You know, and then that, if it's a strong kinds of comments, then they have to review the Department of Interior, review those comments. So we can say we have preliminary okay, you know, but we don't need to put that in here. I think we just need
I'm
to assert.
I'm talking about
Right.
the part about actual federal
Okay,
suits that we have gotten throughout all 592 federally recognized tribes. Stephen Lee, once again, there is a cited Federal Register of that fact.
oh yes, of that. Yes,
Yes.
that register, yes.
Yes. It's sad we got to educate.
And that's all approved, that's all approved
Should we
document.
cite it?
Yes,
Okay, all right.
Yes, sir.
Put it all there, that way they don't have to look.
I think
for
we
it.
have to cite both.
Yes.
We have
Okay.
to cite the one which describes the okay by, you know, okay of our compact with conditions of the lands, you know?
Okay.
Both those two registers. Yes, I follow you. Yes, that register.
Okay. Cited Federal Register mandated laws. Okay. One's in kind of review. You know, we got, I counted it down. Is it 32 more days? We've had it in for 13 days now. So
Yeah.
32 more days. Brad, am I right on that?
Until it's published in the Federal Register?
Wait a minute. We got 13 days since it was approved by the feds. We got this review period of 45 days. I think it's 13 days in. We got 32 more days.
It's a ministerial when they publish in the Federal Register. They're not reviewing it for legality or anything. It's just,
They really can't, can they?
no, it's just whether they actually, timing on when they actually print it. So it's,
Wow. Are y'all following us in there, staff, where we're going with this? All right. Well, you guys need to be on live stream. All right. On this right, are y'all okay for us to get this, we can approve it now and have them get the right done? And we have an assigned resolution number. I need a resolution number. Okay.
85.
85-2020. Business Committee, we have got 1, responsibility. 2, at present, we want mandatory fee to trust. Number 3, concurrent to our compact. Number 4, the specific properties. Number 5, the attached legal on every part of it. And number 6, the cited Federal Register on record and the one coming to approval through compact. That is what we need to have on it. And we will say, now therefore be it resolved, may this be written and signed by 7 CBC members. That will be resolution number 85-2020. I need a motion to approve.
I so move.
Motion,
Second it.
okay. It was made by CBC number 2, Donna Gale, and seconded by our vice chair, Lenora Parker. All those in favor for resolution number 85-2020, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right. A lot of direct mandated things for the trust duty of Anadarko, then to Albuquerque, and then to DC.
Would we, would we need to put somewhere in there, being a sovereign nation?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll predate it like we
Okay.
always do. You know how we
Preference it.
specify our.
Yeah, the front end of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes, sir.
That one with our sovereignty and constitution.
Yeah.
That would be appropriate.
yeah.
Yeah,
Did
we
do
always
a
put
rewrite
that
on
in.
84-2020 yet?
Okay.
Yes, it's right there, Chairman. It's on
Okay.
it's on the screen.
Stephen Lee, I'll let you read this resolution. We'll go to it. Go right ahead.
All right, it's a resolution, authorization to purchase assignment contract for land sale on parcel referred to as Exit 5 of Buckaloo Road containing 14.98 acres. Whereas the Comanche Nation is a federally recognized Indian tribe with the Constitution approved by the Secretary of the Interior of the United States on January 9th, 1967, to safeguard the tribal rights, powers, and privileges to improve the economic, moral, educational, and health status of its members. And whereas the Comanche Business Committee is the duly elected official body designated to conduct business for and on behalf of the Comanche Nation in a legal quorum. And whereas Acorn Point LLC is an independent limited liability company that has entered into a purchase and sales agreement attached hereunto and marked as Exhibit A to purchase land and desires to assigns all right, title, and interest in said sales agreement to the nation for $1 and other good and valuable consideration. And whereas the purchase and sales agreement convey surface rights only, and whereas that land is referred to as Exit 5, the land is located in Love County on Buckaroo Road, and the land has a contractual description of 14.98 acre tract located near Exit 5 at Thackerville, Oklahoma, legally described as part of the northeast quarter of Section 7, 9 South, 2 East, and is more fully described in Exhibit A. And whereas the CBC has been made aware of the parcel of land, of this parcel of land, and whereas the CBC has determined that it is in the best interest of the nation to purchase the assignment from Acorn Point LLC for $1 and other good and valuable consideration attached hereunto as Exhibit B. And whereas the CBC has determined that it is in the best interest of the nation to approve and authorize the assignment referred to herein to purchase the real estate at fair market value to expand the nation's land base for future use. And now therefore be it resolved, further resolved, that the Comanche Nation Business Committee determines that it is in the best interest of the nation to purchase the assignment and hereby approves and authorizes the Comanche Nation Chairman, William Nelson, Sr., or his designee to purchase the real estate at fair market value. Be it further resolved that the Comanche Business Committee does hereby authorize and approve the chairman, or in his absence, the vice chair, or designee to execute any and all documents as may be necessary and appropriate to implement the terms, conditions, and intent of this resolution.
I make the motion again,
Surface rights.
Yes, yes, right here.
make the motion again about it's only surface again, right?
Yeah, it's right there. I highlighted it.
And then I'll have a subsequent one about listing the county.
And,
We should say the county.
yeah,
Yeah, it's got
here
the county.
in Love County right
Oh,
there.
okay, good, you have it there.
Yes.
It's a total rewrite, Bob. I think
Yeah.
it's got it all covered now.
He included everything that you amended.
Okay, I see, yes. Okay.
Are you
I'm fine.
satisfied, Mr. Tipicani?
I make a motion to approve.
Hallelujah. Good work, everybody. One thing for sure is very important. So, motion was made by our Secretary Treasurer, went to a second of CBC number 4, Clyde Narcomi.
Thank you.
All those in favor for resolution number 84-2020, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Business Committee, let's clap for our tribal membership. Come on. We gotta do it. Our population grows, your needs are there, and we're gonna get that done. Once again, I'd like to thank all parties involved with this. So if we go to the agenda, guys, it'll be real small. On the executive session part, we got to go over some financials. Looks like everything's going real good. And for the record, everybody, our TA has kind of became ill, should be here. We got to lift up our Phyllis Atokney up in prayer. Is she still at Memorial, guys? Okay, she's at Memorial Hospital. She's tough. I was all day, most of us were in a funeral, and I wasn't able to go by and see her. Has anybody
Well,
gone by?
they said you can't go see
Yeah,
her
you can't
because of
see her.
COVID.
Okay, all
They
right.
told us on set when she fell, she hit her head. They did a CAT scan, that was okay.
Okay,
Other
okay.
than she's got some kind of infection, not COVID, but it's something.
Very good. Okay, good. So all you prayer warriors out there, lift up our TA, Phyllis Atokney, in prayer. On this part, it's just financials. And I'd like for somebody to pose a motion for us to go to executive session real quick.
I so move.
Moved by CBC 2. I need a second. Seconded by CBC 1 or CBC 4. All those in favor for a quick executive session, no longer than 30 minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. And Comanche Nation will be back. I'd like to thank all the IT department that's here. You guys are in force like Comanche Nation law enforcement. No, I'm teasing. If we could just take a break right quick, okay? Hello, everybody. We're back on the air. We've got some visitors here from Finley and Cook. Sam, Karen, hello. You're nationwide. All right. Lenora, we talked over some things we needed to get done. And you have a passel of motions you want to pass. Can we go ahead and go to those?
I did vote to come out.
Oh, we sure did, Clyde.
I make a motion to come out of executive session.
There we go.
I second it.
Motion made by CBC 4 and seconded by CBC 2. All those in favor to come out of executive session, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right.
Okay, the first motion is to give Shandell and Terrence signature authority in the absence of the TA.
Okay, for the record on this motion, that will be Shandell Weesall and Terrence Robinson, which is part of the internal staff of the TA. This will be signatory authority on the affairs of the day-to-day, with the final signature line being the Secretary Treasurer. Is that okay to word it as such?
Yes.
Robert, you okay with that? Okay, that's the motion before us. I need a second.
Second.
Seconded by CBC 4. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, same side. That did pass.
Okay, the second motion is to keep the assisted living program funding within their budget.
Okay. To be more definite on that, we collect all revenue intake and it goes to the tax commission.
Yeah, withdraw the funds
Sir,
presented.
sure, I'm gonna
To-
word it as such,
okay.
yeah. I want our Comanche Nation people to know, people that collected revenue in the past, they kind of just threw it in their program. That was not auditable. So now anybody that collects revenue, it goes right to the tax commission. And at the end of the year, either it helps for their new budget formalization or what direction we have. Well, on this program right here, which is prevention and recovery, we're asking.
Assisted living.
Oh, assisted living.
Assisted living.
Assisted living. The monies that came into that, we're gonna ask the tax commission to make a withdrawal from that for them to make a continual to finish out the fiscal year 2020. Could that be your worded motion? Okay. I need a second to that.
So move.
Made by CVC number 1, June Sobo. All those in favor for this action for the tax commission, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Okay, the third motion is to purchase property with new business money.
Correct. We have actually done our actual resolutions. Our funding source will be coming from new business, but that should be Plan B. We're going to the actual other part. So let's just strike that motion.
Okay, the next motion is to draw down funds from the 20% funding for land purchase.
There we go. And I'll go to this resolution, and that should be what we need to get it done.
86.
And we got resolution number 86-2020. Whereas the Comanche Nation is a federally recognized Indian tribe with the Constitution approved by the Secretary of the Interior on January 9, 1967, to safeguard tribal rights, powers, and privileges, to improve the economic, moral, educational, and health status of its members. And whereas the Comanche Business Committee is a duly elected official body designed to conduct business for and on behalf of the Comanche Nation. Is that on the screen here? Okay, very good. And whereas the United States owes a trust responsibility to the Comanche Nation, that is true. And whereas pursuant to Indian Claims Commission settlement, the United States holds certain funds in trust for the Comanche Nation. And whereas the nation wishes to acquire land and have that land put into trust, and whereas the nation wishes to use the aforementioned settlement funds to place lands into trust on a mandatory basis pursuant to the Indian Claims Commission statement. And now be it resolved that the Comanche Business Committee hereby authorizes a plan to be administered to withdraw funds necessary to acquire such lands.
This, to me, is incomplete because I made a number of, they're not shown.
It's not reflected on your handout, Jeremy.
Yeah, it's not, none of the, this is like the original.
Well, one thing for sure, y'all better be prepared when you get here. And we just made all these omissions and corrections, and we're not going to legislation on it.
It's
Can
not-
somebody make these corrections, please?
They were all given. I don't know.
These were made on the screen a while ago, these corrections.
Yeah, they're all made in front of us, so it should be printed out.
Stephen, do you got what I read is differently than what I've got? Well, let's go right to the reading and go to the printing, and we go to the vote. Stephen Lee, since I'm facing west and you're facing, no, I'm facing east and you're facing west, could you go ahead and read that resolution?
Yes, sir.
What I did was just waste some space and time. And one day, it won't mean nothing. So we didn't vote on it, and it still means nothing. Go ahead, sir.
A resolution to withdraw tribal funds from trust held by the United States of America for the purposes of mandatory trust acquisitions. Whereas the Comanche Nation is a federally recognized Indian tribe with the Constitution approved by the Secretary of the Interior on January 9th, 1967. Safeguard tribal rights, powers, and privileges to improve the economic, moral, educational, and health status of its members. And whereas the Comanche Business Committee is the duly elected official body designated to conduct business for and on behalf of the Comanche Nation, and whereas the United States owes a trust duty, responsibility to the Comanche Nation. And whereas pursuant to the Indian Claims Commission settlement, the United States holds certain funds in trust for the Comanche Nation. And the nation wishes to acquire fee lands and have that land put into mandatory trust. And whereas the nation wishes to use the aforementioned settlement funds to have lands placed into mandatory trust status authorized by the Indian Claims Commission settlement. And whereas the nation directs the Office of Special Trustee to release settlement funds for such acquisition. And now, therefore, it be resolved that the Comanche Business Committee hereby authorizes a plan to withdraw funds necessary to acquire such lands.
Very good. That's what we discussed in that long, drawn-out executive session. Business Committee, that is the wording. I need a motion to go to approval.
I so moved.
Motion made by CBC 4. Can I count on you, Miss CBC number 2, for a second? All those in agreement on this part, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed, same sign. Mr. Tippecanoe, are you satisfied? Oh, very good. All right. You know, we actually have a bulldozer, guys. We had a request from a tribal member. And it is, I'm not going to discuss a tribal member's name, but June, if you would not mention a tribal member's name, can you tell us what the situation is over there?
They want to clean some fence lines, they redo the fences over on Timber Lane, and they want to cut in a driveway so they can move a trailer house back there on their property.
Well, you know what, Timber Lane, that's between Indiana and Cache, and it is a wooded, it's part of that wood belt that anybody that took Oklahoma history from southwest and northeast.
And it's an allotted.
Okay? For us to get a trailer to get that bulldozer out there, guys, it's about $700 in the transport of it. About $700 back and forth.
For whose property and what?
Well, I'm not gonna mention her name, sir.
No, I mean, it's trust property
Yeah,
Yes,
on Timber Lane.
yeah.
yeah.
And they
Comanche
need
Trust.
what?
They want to clear out fence lines so they can redo the fence, and they want to cut a driveway in there, back in there, so they can move in a trailer home, a mobile home back there on their property. And it's gonna cost them, if they go rent a machine, it's gonna cost them like almost $2,000.
Here. Show the Secretary Treasurer. Now, what's the deal about a trailer?
We've got that D7 dozer down there that the law enforcement had. They said didn't have a problem us using it, but they don't have anything big enough to move it, and it's going to cost them $750 to hire somebody to move that tractor down there to do their work, and then for them to come back and get it. Another $750 to have it moved back to.
Is there something about the grasshoppers program in this?
What's it, Kyle? Went out and looked at it.
They have the
yes-
trailer, the Grasshopper has the trailer.
No. Kyle went out there and looked at it, and they're thinking maybe they can get that done with the skid steer, which they don't have no problem hauling it down. I think they were gonna look at it, supposed to meet them out there again this morning and look at it, but if they couldn't, then it's gonna
Yeah.
cost them to move that big dozer out there.
You know, when it comes to our tribal members and they're wanting to have that improvement done, and we got the materials to do it, even though it might cost for transport, getting it there and getting it back, we have to do it. So could somebody entertain a motion for that fact?
I make a motion.
Make a motion for us to do this?
Yes.
One thing for sure, just stick with it, that cost and nothing more. So just go get that done and bring it back. Okay, can I get a second? Seconded by CBC number 2. All those in favor for such action, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
So I have a question. Where's the money coming from?
I believe, when I was looking at who's in the black and who's in the red, I don't see a problem with somebody like in the gravel tin horn program helping out in that capacity.
Yeah, we should state it in this. Yeah, it should be stated.
Can
Where the
somebody
money
make an
comes,
amendment
where the
to
money
that?
comes from.
Can you make an amendment to add to this motion?
I'll make a motion to amend that motion. Add that the money come out of, is it Tin Horns?
You know,
Okay, that's the amended part. Can I get a second?
I second it.
Okay, all those in favor to complete this motion with that addition, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Well, Mr. Red Oak, you haven't had any washouts lately. I like for all of us that have those low-lying areas to get to their homes, I would hope that the gravel and tin horn program go and locate these places, or better yet, have our tribal members tell them about that before, believe it or not, rains will come back. We're in a dry spell now. But I think we need to be what you would call proactive rather than reactive. Go and figure these places out, have a sum total, or bring it to us for some kind of semblance of averaging those monies for our people's places out in the rural community. I never seen that done. It's just smart business to do that. What do y'all think?
I think it's a good idea.
I would say, you know, we ought to maybe direct the program area to do that.
We should,
Yes, and that'd be the tin horn grab, you know,
yeah.
let him size that up and have a program of work.
Make that motion, sir.
Yeah, I make a motion that the director of the tin horn, yeah, it is a home sometimes, tin horn, establish a plan, or establish a program of work to meet the needs of people that have access, egress needs.
And not to go do the work, but at least have the listing to get it
Yes,
done.
that's the plan.
Yes, okay. I need a second, please.
I second it.
Okay? All those in favor for this action for gravel tin horn, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay.
I've got a question. June, what is the mileage from where the dozer is to where that work is to be done?
Dozer's out there behind, Hip in that yard. The dozer's there, and they take it over to Timber Lane, about
West
the
of Cass.
mall, west of Cass, go to Timber Lane and go a mile back in there. It's right there in the corner.
The reason I'm asking is, 700 and, what was it, $750?
$750.
Kinda high.
That seems high,
Yeah.
and
If we can find it cheaper,
yeah,
hey,
I
that's,
think, I'll ask and see if we can get, I can get it cheaper.
okay. I think that's the quote that, Clarence, got this Caterpillar place over here. That's the quote they gave him for moving it. Cause they went down there to see about leasing a dozer from them, and that was like, I said, it was a couple thousand.
Okay, Lenora, was there one other?
Yes, there was one more motion to keep the employees on furlough until October, the end of the fiscal year, the ones that are on furlough now, to keep
Okay.
them on furlough.
Did we get confirmation when the extra monies for unemployment compensation, did we get the real information? Is Chandel around?
Well, Chandel said, and she's checked, she said she just checked, and that 600 does not continue, it goes through the end of July. Now, I understand they've been having discussions, nationally to extend that, so,
Yeah.
but what she showed me just a minute ago was, no, it ends July, but the unemployment continues, but not the 600.
Okay. Honestly, our fiscal year ends October 1. It's been a strange year, beyond belief. But that is the motion before us right now. I do need a second for
I'll second.
continuing. Okay, seconded by CDC 4, Clyde Narcomi. All those in favor for this motion and this action, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All
I'd like-
those opposed, same sign.
I'd like to add one other motion,
Sure.
that the tribal minister had put the water park employees on furlough.
Okay.
Maybe
but-
there needs to be one in place for security or for maintenance or whatever.
Okay. Well, one thing for sure on the water park, they did get the payroll protection plan. What we have seen.
Yes, they do.
What we have seen on this rollout of opening back up America, if they remove all restrictions, I just got the CDC numbers here, and it's not lying at all. If we go to full opening, and we'll really find out after Trump's visit just how bad this really will get. Before we go to this movement, if all restrictions are lifted, the CDC is projecting that a 70% infected cumulative would happen, which would come to 20,000 deaths, and the hospital overload date would be July 20th, 2020. This was Monday's CDC projection. Now, the scenario projected based on current trends, if it stays status quo, what we're doing today, the population infected cumulative would only be 6%. And we'd have less than 1,000 deaths. We do have, I believe, 364 deaths in Oklahoma. And the hospital overload date, nothing would happen in the next 90 days. It comes down to one thing. Contacts traced, Oklahoma. Now, this is the truth to the matter. The best available data. Oklahoma has 350 contact tracers with an average of 103 new daily cases of COVID-19. The estimation for Oklahoma, they need 515 contact tracing staff. All new cases in the next 48 hours or in 48 hours before too many other people are infected. This means that Oklahoma is likely able to trace 68% of new COVID infections in 48 hours. At these lower levels of tracing, it is unlikely Oklahoma will be able to successfully identify and isolate sources of diseases spread fast enough to prevent new outbreaks. I brought this forward because all the statisticians in the world couldn't have said it any better than this. This is the state of Oklahoma and coronavirus. So keep this in mind. If all the restrictions are lifted, all the swimming pools are open, all the motels are 100% capacity. One of the scariest things I seen 2 weeks ago was in Pawnee, Oklahoma. We're decorating my son's grave, and they have a place there to eat, and everybody in there was packed out with no face cover at all. I come walking in there like this, and they thought I was in there to rob them. It was scary how people have been so loosey-goosey about this virus. People, if we lift all the restrictions, and I'm talking to you, Governor Stitt, there's going to be a 70% infection rate. And there will be 20,000 deaths. And our hospital overload date would be July 20th, which is, what, 30 days from now? So it came up to this fact, what you're talking about, Miss Lenora, and what we're gonna close this meeting out. Everybody wants to have annual meeting. They do. We do too. We're still in discussion, and by July 11th, you guys, because 4th of July is the first Saturday of July. By July 11th, please, let's have it in order. A suggestion came up of why don't we take nominations online? Then we do the background on it. And I guess they campaign. And then we go to a vote. I know one thing, fiscal year 2021 starts October 1. We have to have our people approve our fiscal year 2021 budget. The business at hand is about every other part. You know, people want to bring their own resolutions. Most of them are resolutions that say we want to go back to what we were 10 years ago. I don't know. Well, everybody's got to say at annual meeting. They do. But based on this information, everybody, you know, I'm on the Texas communication link where it's land people, the governor, and everybody else. They've had such an uptick in Texas, they might go right back to stage 2 of reopening. You know, this virus has not left us. So I'm not here to be no messenger of death or doom. But we got to be smart. And one thing for sure, we can't even have a venue as small as our own funeral home to not have to shut it down. So we need to be respectful of life, our elders, and this Comanche Nation. So I said my conclusion monologue to the conclusion of it all. Lenora, we got something on the table still? All right. June, you know, I don't know how we did it. We've met, I don't know how many teleconferences calls and the business we've had to do on the airways, and it's worked well. Today was a historic day. We had to get this done. I want everybody to say something to our people out there. What's your general thoughts, your feelings at this point in time when it concerns the state of our nation? And I'll start with you, Jan.
Comanche people, you know, we love all of you. And our people are a people of hugging and kissing one another. We're not ashamed to show our feelings for each other, whether it be in a time of sorrow, whether it be time of joy, whatever. Whenever we see one another, we like to greet each other like that. And our tribe has never come against such a thing as this virus that it's so deadly that we are trying to our best to think of our Comanche people, our elderly people. We lose enough of our people because of natural causes. We don't want to take the chance of losing any more because of this thing. If we can be safe and keep our people safe by keeping social distances, then we want to do, and wearing masks, and I don't have mine on. But we want to protect our people because we want to be able to hug them, kiss them for a long, long time. Our relatives, and not just us, but all our Native Americans across the land, we all watch out for our people. And even the Caucasians, we want everything to be good for them. And that's the one reason why we're trying to be so careful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. CBC number 2, Donna Gill, share something with your nation, thoughts, concerns that people have talked to you about. You know, we never get a chance to talk to our people. You know, we don't. So, please.
I know a lot of the concerns I hear are about, you know, we need help. What can we do? Where can we go? Rest assured, your cries for help hasn't fell on deaf ears. The PWE that we're getting, money that we're getting coming in for the CARES Act and whatnot, is coming. It's just, y'all be patient with us because we're trying to work on these as fast as we can and get you your assistance because it's a hard time for everybody. You know, not just you guys that are at home, but we got a lot of folks everywhere that have been hit in one way or another with the need. Could be utility needs, it could be health needs, medical needs, food needs. You know, like he goes back to our hugging and kissing, we've had a lot of folks that's lost loved ones during this time. And it was hard to attend those services and not be able to be that supportive and physical supportive with one another. And just keep everybody in your prayers because we're trying to do the best that we can for our people and think not just right now, but think it's always way over the hill from now for not just our elderlies, but for our young ones too. And we thank you for your patience. We thank you for your guidance. I thank you for the calls that y'all give us, you know, with concerns, with thank yous, because we try and listen to you and hear you, because that's what we're here for, is we try to put you guys' thoughts ahead of our own and think not just what we would do, but how we can do things that will help you guys that are out there, either whether you live here locally or whether you live in another state. You know, we try not to forget about you all because you're all Comanches everywhere. And we just say, you know, I want to say we love you, our people. And for myself, that's my thought. How can we best help our folks? And the best thing we can do too is keep hanging on to the good Lord, and through the prayers He's brought us this far, and He's going to take us to the next step. Thank you.
Thank you. Secretary Treasurer Robert Tipconi, please convey your message to the nation. You know, things are starting to loosen up on this wee-wee, so we need to get it out. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, it's good that we can have these visual contacts with tribal members, and we trust more and more tune in or sort of get online with us monthly, and then you'll be abreast or you'll be aware of what we're doing. And I'd like to say, you know, the federal government has really looked at the welfare at this period of time of all Americans, and we American Indian nations have been really rewarded with funds from the federal government under the CARE Act and under the Small Business Administration, as well as from the Department of Interior. So there have been given gifts, I would say, to us, but it's not just from the federal government. I'd like the Comanche people to remember always walk each day, Sa'atu, God, Hui. I like to walk God's road. And I like to say, Numina, we've always been walking God's road. And let's stay on that road. And when these gifts come to us, which each of you may have some part of, something given to you at this time of a time of need, that you praise God and you thank God. You know, our older Comanche people always had long prayers, and they prayed for not just now, but tomorrow. They prayed for all our family. And I want you to know, Comanche people, we in this business committee open with prayers. We thank our God. We ask the Holy Spirit to give us wisdom and knowledge. And I'd like to say, continue that. If there's anything we need in this world today, is we need to honor you. And from you comes the blessing. From you comes the welfare. From you comes the solution. So I encourage us always to thank him daily. You know, at Tabitoy or the sunrise, you know, rise and thank him. Begin your day with God, praising. And I'd like to say, then the day becomes better. We don't get everything we want. We're going to have some hard times, each of us. But if we praise God and we live and we walk in his road, and I encourage you all, Comanche people, do that. There's great rewards to that. Udako.
Oh, messing up. Clyde Narcomi, you know, I gotta tell the Comanche people, Clyde's been a servant for his folks for, I don't know, 5 terms maybe? 4 terms? 4 terms. Clyde, just convey to our people out there your thoughts and what's going on with you.
Yeah, what I'd like to say to all the Comanche people out there, especially the elders, we need to be safe. Be safe rather than be sorry. I know everybody wants to have this general counsel. To me, I think we need to listen to our scientists and doctors up in Washington, D.C. Once they give the okay for let's just say the state of Oklahoma, wherever where Comanches are living. Because right now, Oklahoma's on an uprise on this coronavirus. So is Texas, so is Arizona, Florida, Arkansas, Missouri. Let's don't be in a hurry to gather one group, 200 or 300 at our general council, because there ain't no telling what'll come out of it. Especially we're not wearing masks, keeping our hands clean. So I'd rather be safe than sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Clyde. Our Lady Vice Chair, Lenora, you and I went to a service yesterday and kind of got a little scary with folks we know that have preconditions. But we had to say goodbye to a brother and a father. So Lenora, your thoughts to the Comanche people, and especially bring up the fact about the CARES Act, because you've been pretty well on top of your game, and I appreciate you, Lady Vice Chair. I really do.
Well, we are trying to keep everybody as safe as possible, being very cautious. We don't want to see one person be affected by the coronavirus, and if we have a meeting, there's really not enough space inside to space people 6 feet apart. So we are just looking out for your health and for your safety. We're doing the best we can, working together. And I know our culture does not brag on ourselves, but I'm feel very good about our CBC. We've all been working together, communicating together, planning together, and gathering data together so that we could receive our share of the $8 billion. And thankfully, we have received a very good share from the United States government. So we are trying our best to be good stewards of the funding. And the people that are working on the CARES Act program, they are trying to do the best they can. You know, nobody has been in a pandemic, so it's almost like we have to invent the wheel as we go. And we have hired more help to take applications, and we are taking the applications as they come in. And I know one day I checked with the caseworkers, and they had received 200 applications. And so now we have even more. So we are still meeting together, business as usual. A lot of it is on the teleconference call. When the virus first was occurred in March. I think that month we had many, many, many meetings. And of course, you all don't see us in the meetings, but we had anywhere from 12 to 20 meetings on teleconference. So we're working together and doing the very best that we can because we care about you, we love you. We may not see you, but I just would like you all to know that we are working in your behalf. And we will try to get your funding out to you as diligently as we can. So just be patient. They are working, and we are taking applications in person, or you can apply online on the Comanche Nation business website. So just be patient with us, and hopefully we'll see you and we will get past this. You know, our Comanche people, we historically have had many challenges of oppression, colonization, smallpox. We've been oppressed people, but we have been a praying people, and God has brought us far in the past and today, and He will take us into the future. So that's what we're working for, to have a better future for our people. And we have passed these resolutions on these land purchases so that we can build business on these properties, so that we can increase our income for our people, because our population is going to keep growing. We have 17,600 members right now. And so to every age group out there, we're concerned about you. The babies, the single mothers, the elders. You know, we think about you, and that's why we don't mind sacrificing our time, using our time and our education and our energy to improve our tribe as a whole. And we are a blessed people, so just be patient. We're doing the best we can, and God bless each and every one of you.
Ora, Lady Vice Chair. Mr. Red Oak, I want you to go last, sir, because one thing you did say, and I always hold it in my heart, you said, this is a killer. And I don't want to see not one Comanche, do you? Not one. Mr. Red Oak, if you could talk to your people and then leave us in some traveling mercy prayer, and we'll adjourn this meeting on that prayer.
Ada. Malaweka namana. Sik tabeni it nomnet in kawitoi. Usa suk sa honey to it. Sa derait. Ik nama nomnet in era. Comanches. What we have here is a group of Comanche men and women that work well together. They've accomplished so much over these past months that is amazing, really. It really is. We don't always agree. Sometimes we have some verbal confrontations, but out of that comes action that we take. And today I would like to publicly recognize the chairman and the secretary treasurer for that leadership. I think what you have provided us with a good sense of the direction that we need to take. And I thank you for that. Biara, na heights now. I really feel proud of what we've done today and what's going to take place in the future for our Comanche people, the children that's coming up. This is going to come to great action for our Comanche people. And it took courage for us to take that step. But it's done. We have many employees that have contributed to this action that has greatly helped us. It couldn't have been done without the employees. But they give us good information and we act on it. Ora, tā apa, tomavāta, nansuakaita nania, a tekwapa vita rueve, sik sok tomavāta, waeko, nami maaka sik taveni, nami tasuna, nami tasunu aiku, nami hannipkat, keta aitaku nami petsara, saaku nami munne, oyo tananadami, mohatsku nami kamakat, nami suta. Usuni. Amen.
Amen. And with that, we all said by a legal quorum, we're adjourned. Did everybody say, huh? Those that want to stay here, say, gay.
Okay. Now, was I right on moving back our housing?
Thank you.
To 2 o'clock.
It's 2:28.
Yeah.
Very
Pretty
good.
close.
Mr. Miller?